From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm David Forrest reporting tensions between Turkey and Russia.
Suriye'de yaptığı ve oradaki
Turkey's president today questioned the future of relations between his country and Russia after multiple reports of airspace violations by Russian military planes along the Turkish border with Syria. Turkey summoned Russia's ambassador for a second time Monday after the foreign ministry said there was another instance of a Russian aircraft breaching Turkish airspace. A Russian Defense Ministry spokesman says Turkey is proposing establishing a joint working group to coordinate activities and prevent possible incidents. The head of the NATO-led military operation in Afghanistan says American forces are responsible for mistakenly hitting a hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan. U.S. Army General John Campbell spoke to a congressional committee in Washington.
On Saturday morning, our forces provided close air support to Afghan forces at their request. To be clear, the decision to provide aerial fires was a U.S. decision made within the U.S. chain of command.
The bombardment killed 22 people. The Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for a series of attacks on government headquarters and positions of the Saudi-led coalition in the city of Aden in Yemen. In a statement posted online, the militant group said it carried out 4 suicide bombings against the targets. The general in charge of the failed coup in Burkina Faso last month has been formally charged, along with one other top official accused of supporting the overthrow of Burkina Faso's government. General Guibert Diendéré and Djibril Bassol, a former foreign minister, were charged on Tuesday with attacking state security. This is VOA News. Many U.S. lawmakers reacted cautiously to the successful conclusion of negotiations to forge the world's biggest trading bloc. The Trans-Pacific Partnership would reduce trade barriers among 12 Pacific Rim nations that account for 40% of global economic output. Republican Senator John McCain stood out among lawmakers by immediately and enthusiastically endorsing the pact. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, who is running for president as a Democrat, promptly proclaimed his opposition, saying the pact will hurt consumers and cost American jobs. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas says he wants to avoid an escalation of violence, his most direct comments since unrest spread in recent days in Israel. On Tuesday, Israeli forces fought with Palestinian youths during demonstrations at a checkpoint between Jerusalem and the West Bank city of Ramallah. The wave of Palestinian violence has prompted an Israeli crackdown, as we hear from Robert Berger.
The Israeli army has demolished the homes of 2 Palestinian militants who carried out deadly attacks last year in Jerusalem. Israel says the move is aimed at deterring Palestinian terrorists after a wave of shootings and stabbings that left 4 Israelis dead since Thursday. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised a strong hand to fight terror and to quell unrest that has raised fears of a 3rd Palestinian uprising. Robert Berger, Jerusalem.
A special U.S. envoy is in the Iraqi capital for talks on the international coalition support for Iraqi-led efforts to defeat the Islamic State terrorist group. Retired Marine General John Allen arrived in Baghdad on Tuesday for meetings with senior Iraqi government and security officials. A former president of the United Nations General Assembly was arrested as part of a wide-ranging corruption scandal involving a Chinese businessman seeking to win influence in real estate deals. Authorities allege John Ash, the UN ambassador from Antigua and Barbuda, took more than $1.3 million in bribes from Chinese businesses. They say Ash, who served as Assembly President in 2013, was pushing for a multi-million-dollar UN conference in Macau. He faces charges of conspiracy, bribery, and tax fraud in connection with the scheme. The family of convicted South African Paralympic athlete Oscar Pistorius is criticizing government authorities for delays in transferring him from prison to less restrictive house arrest. Authorities want him to undergo psychotherapy. He was jailed for killing his girlfriend. From the VOA News Center in Washington, I'm David Forrest.
That's the latest world news from VOA.